help us to know a bit more about this university.
RIT stands for Rochester Institute of Technology. We have multiple campuses throughout the globe. Students from 90 different nationalities currently studying with us. So we are a global American university. If a student wants to, let's say, start in Dubai, the student can move to any of our campuses with the exact same tuition fees as of Dubai post completion of second year.
Okay, so even if they're 3.5 hours away from India, they're getting the US degree.
Exactly the same degree that a student in the US will be getting.
Where is this university in Dubai for our viewers who are outside UAE?
So we are at the heart of Dubai and a place called Dubai Silicon Oasis.
RIT is well known for its co-op program.
So co-op is a full-time paid work experience in your field of study, and this is post your second year while you are a current student of RIT.
Hello everyone. My name is Ankita Puri and I'm the founder of Generation Alpha Education Services. Welcome to another episode of my podcast channel, Mentify. Dreaming of a US degree and wondering where to start with? You do not have to wait and move around the world to find the start point. Because in today's podcast, which will be led by an expert, we will tell you how to decode this pathway from Dubai as your location. So if you have a dream to get your US degree, stay tuned because we are now going to talk a lot about that pathway. With me today is Mr. Apurva Shaurya from the Student Admissions and Enrollment at RIT Dubai, Rochester Institute of Technology, Dubai campus. Welcome, Apurva, to this podcast episode of ours.
Thank you, Ankita, for inviting me. I'm glad to be here and probably answer as many questions as the viewers want to know, and let's see how it goes.
Lovely. It's always interesting to talk to you, Apurva, and we have had interactions in various occasions in past. But would you like to tell a bit about the viewers today, about you? How long have you been in Dubai? How long have you been in this industry particularly?
Right. Interesting question. It's been over 6 years I've been in UAE and into admissions, helping students, counseling them. I generally counsel students from different parts of the world, whether it is India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, or Tanzania, Africa in general. So I do counsel students from all across the globe. And at RIT, we do have students from 90 different nationalities currently studying with us.
Amazing. So you are already in interaction with different ethnicity all around you. I must say, first of all, congratulations for the September intake. There's a lot of celebration on the campus. How was it, the overall intake? What success? Share with us as well.
Wow. So I won't say it was easy. We are a very young and growing university. And all thanks to Generation Alpha and my other partners throughout the globe who helped us achieve the student population, helped us in marketing. Also, more than anything else, what we at this point in time look at is helping students take the right decisions. So whether they join any of our majors, are they sure that that's what they want to go ahead with? Because we do understand that a grade 12 students, they are not really 100% sure what they want to do. And that's where you guys come in. That's where we support you in terms of making sure that the student is taking the right decisions.
Lovely, I must say. And thank you for your generosity of mentioning us out because you have been very supportive throughout. Audience today is keen to know, and I'm sure by now you must have sensed the kind of digital noise we made before actually launching this episode. Help us to know a bit more about this university, Rochester Institute of Technology, because I'm going to pivot our conversation more on two elements. First, the pathway from Dubai to US. What are the possible chances? And the second pathway I'll keep with me right now because there's a lot of discussion we have to do. So how about you telling us a bit about this university for establishment of the name which we are referring to, and then we move on to the next level of conversation?
Sounds good. So RIT stands for Rochester Institute of Technology. We have multiple campuses throughout the globe, with the parent campus being in the US in a city called Rochester. We have other campuses in Croatia, Kosovo, and I represent Dubai campus. Interesting question. If a student wants to, let's say, start in Dubai, study a couple of years in Dubai and move to not just to US, but any of our campuses, the student can move to any of our campuses with the exact same tuition fees as of Dubai post completion of second year.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
that gives a student more like a leverage, or in fact, a global experience when a student is studying in a globally recognized university.
Wonderful. Where is this university in Dubai for our viewers who are outside UAE and listening to us, if they want to know which location is this university?
So we are at the heart of Dubai and a place called Dubai Silicon Oasis.
Lovely. And I must say, if I have to build up on that, it's a huge campus, a very brilliant state-of-the-art infrastructure university RIT has, and multiple disciplines being offered. What programs shall we mention out here for our students, future aspirants to know about it, if you can?
So just to elaborate on the program, most of our programs are BSc program, Bachelor of Science. Now, in terms of engineering major, we have a Bachelor of Science in Electrical Engineering. We have Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering and Bachelor of Science in Industrial Engineering. Along with the degree program itself, we have a few minors available. For an example, with Mechanical Engineering, it is a student can choose either aerospace or automotive engineering. Similarly, for electrical, it is either renewable energy or energy in general, or AI. Moving forth in terms of business, we have BSc, Bachelor of Science in Global Business Management, Bachelor of Science in Finance, and Bachelor of Science in Marketing. In terms of design, we have BFA, Bachelor of Fine Arts in New Media Design. We have, in terms of psychology, we have Bachelor of Science in psychology with the specialization in either clinical or biopsychology. And lastly, and most interestingly, it is a Bachelor of Science in cybersecurity and Bachelor of Science in computing and IT with the specialization in software engineering.
Okay, interesting. So all these programs, which is by heart to you, and I'm sure that reflects the kind of experience you bring across the table by counseling students in and out in your daily day-to-day activities. It reflects very strongly. But I'm sure listening you out, the whole portfolio of programs which are being offered, I think students, whether they are science graduates or humanity graduates, there is something or the other for every child to think of coming to Rochester. It's a very comprehensive offering, the university.
Absolutely. So it's more like just a degree program that a student pass out with a certificate. It's much more to a 4 years or a 5 years degree program. For an example, let me go back to the engineering, where I believe a lot of students nowadays, they are choosing engineering as one of their options. With engineering, it's a 5 years degree program where a student would have to do 1 year of internship. So having said that, so internship has to be something to do with engineering in the field that they are studying. Similarly, it can go into either aerospace or it can go into automotive, or a student can look into different perspective of engineering, such as, let's say, global perspective, like what exactly the student wants to take. Along with that, not necessarily that a student would have to stick to engineering itself. They can choose, along with the engineering, they can choose few of the subjects based on what student likes. For an example, like I like finance personally. So if I have to redo my bachelor's, I would probably do Bachelor of Mechanical Engineering with aerospace as a specialization, along with finance as a subject.
Okay.
So these are the type of study areas which a student can develop into. Which brings me to the other point that even if the student is taking, let's say, let's talk about mechanical engineering itself. Two students can have two different set of courses while they are studying.
Okay.
Although it is the same degree.
Tell us more about how is that possible?
So basically, whether you talk about engineering, finance, business, design, we have different focus areas which a student can really think about. Or in other word, even if you go to our website, it's clearly mentioned there are different type of perspectives. So either you can see finance from let's say from a global perspective, or from a number perspective, or a health sciences perspective, from where you are actually thinking about pursuing your career into.
So it's like a bespoke. You can tailor-made your learning.
It's a very thin line. So yes and no at the same time.
Okay.
So a student can choose additional courses
Okay.
along with the one that are currently there. So they can tailor a bit, they can choose additional courses, which can help them to actually reach the goal they are looking at. For an example, in terms of finance, if we talk about two students' outcome,
Correct.
cannot be actually the same. So it can be a bit different. Someone wants to be let's say a business analyst, someone wants to be a financial analyst, someone wants to go into investment banking. So the student from second year onwards can start building up in terms of courses, in terms of programs, and how can they take their degree itself to help them get into what they are really looking at.
Okay. So the selection of these core modules can be based on the interest, though they are all under the one stream of entitlement for the degree program. But based on their interest, they graduate with the transcripts having the credit scores for what they learned individually. And that's an amazing that's an amazing flexibility in the program, I must say, because half of the time a child is worried at the time of the start point, am I doing the right course or not? Because either there's a social influence, or if at all there's a research being done that yes, I am choosing the right program consciously. There are still ambiguities and doubts in the mind of the students. Where will this lead to? Right? And sometimes it happens, and I'm sure we both have encountered that in our day-to-day experience with these students. Once they are inside the system, they realize, no, I think I'm meant for something along with it. And that's where this flexibility in the program brings amazing
Absolutely.
support.
Just to add on a little bit on the same flexibility that we are talking about. For an example, a student generally, let's say, start for business student. Let's talk about business student. Enough of engineering. So when we talk about business in general, sometimes a student is a bit lost. So student starts with let me start with international business or global business in that case. And once they are done with their first year, they feel like, they are more inclined towards finance major, or they are more inclined toward marketing major. So while they have completed their first year, let's say in business in that case, they can move towards, let's say, marketing without losing a lot of credit. And if marketing is not something that they're looking at, they can move towards finance, or in fact, any other major that they like. They can, in fact, completely switch from business to psychology, and the common subjects will be considered when we take student for or assess student for the transfer within the university, within the programs itself.
So there has been cases like this quite often?
Absolutely, all the time. All the time.
Okay. So students should feel absolutely normal about it, because they evolve as and when they are in the system.
It's a learning curve. I wouldn't be surprised if a grade 12 student, in fact, we do it at the master's level as well. The student is a bit lost that, I'm not sure which major I would like to do. So they start with one major, and then they realize, I'm more closely aligned with, let's say, design in that case. So they move from business to design. It's very common. It's all about learning curve.
Beautiful.
And as and when the student speaks to their academic advisors, they speak to their friends, they come to realize their passion that, okay, this is something I never thought about it. I wasn't really informed about it. And then they take a decision. Yes, this might delay a program a bit, but or delay the graduation a bit, but that's okay. Bachelor's is for making mistakes, so students can learn from their mistakes, find their passion, and then can grow on it.
Amazing. That's an amazing, and I think it's a very valuable input for our students, because these opportunities are not that available easily everywhere. I mean, you really have to be handpicked by the university and allowed to do that. Amazing. That brings up me to the next point I want really to focus, and I'll zoom in, and I'll zoom in, is that element that lot of students whom I have personally also interacted, aiming for RIT, have this inquiry that how can I, experience both the worlds, Dubai as well as US, say for instance. So these programs which we just discussed and these flexibility which we offer, where is this element of spending some time in Dubai and then moving on to US? How does that provision works? If you can tell in details for our parents, especially, to know about it.
Sure. So as I mentioned in the beginning, so we are a global American university and we stand by what we mean. So a student can start with our Dubai campus, study 2 years in Dubai campus, and can move to US campus for 1 academic year with the exact same tuition fees as of Dubai. There would be additional costs involved where our global team will help students to find housing, find help with the visa, part-time jobs in their case. So there are other costs involved. But having said that, the tuition fees essentially remains the same for 1 academic year, where the student can move to US, study for 1 year, and then decide whether they want to come back to Dubai. If in case a student wants to come back, which is very normal, where a student goes to US, studies 1 year and come back, the student can continue where they have left in the US with the same tuition fees, and then can graduate from our Dubai campus. But if a student wants to move to US, so what we do is, generally, this is what I recommend personally. So after 2 years, student can go to US as an exchange student and then can take a transfer where we close the file in our Dubai campus. We move it to the US campus and now the student is completely a US student.
Okay. Wow. So there are two ways to achieve that same target of attaining a US degree, because there are students who just want an American degree in hand, correct? And there are students who want to be in that land after attaining the degree and start their career. And what I learned from you is that these both are the possible ways through our programs. They can go taste the waters and come back and graduate from Dubai, or they even have an option to take a transfer and become a graduate from the US campus. Or
both the options are there. Having said that, the students who are really looking for a US degree, for all of our campuses, the degree is issued from the parent campus itself.
Okay.
So every student will be getting a US degree regardless of where they are studying.
Okay. So even if they're 3.5 hours away from India, they're getting the US degree.
Exactly
the
the same degree that a student in the US will be getting. Exactly the same program. Exactly the same subjects that a student in the US is studying and you will be studying in Dubai. So that's how RIT works. So although we are under Rochester Institute of Technology of New York. So everything works and functions, and the degree issued and the accreditations and the rankings follow RIT New York.
Okay, that's a very interesting point, I must say, Apurva, you have brought in, because half of the stress level goes off. Sending a child to Dubai, which is very much within the reach of most of the Indian parents who are living in India. And I'm sure you will attest to this, that UAE is becoming a study destination eventually.
Absolutely.
Have you observed this in recent past?
Oh, in fact, you'll be surprised if you look at the government data, which was released like a few weeks back. We have seen that there has been a tremendous increase in terms of international student population in the UAE, specifically from India, from Pakistan, Bangladesh, in fact, Tanzania, Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan. So now the UAE has become an educational hub, I would say.
Lovely. Yeah.
In the global market.
Yes, and I think the more goes to the kind of the safe and the secure environment the country has to offer to these students.
Absolutely. So it's safe, it's secure, and it's like literally 3.5 hours away from India. So we call UAE as our home, and we mean it. So it is home away from home. It's safe. It's in reach for any parent who wants to just come over the weekend, say hi to the kids, and go back, and that quite happens very frequently.
Lovely. Okay. There is another important point. I'll shift the pivot now to my second element, and then I'm going to be a little smart, and I'll make an attempt to be smart to join the two elements of the pivot together before we conclude. RIT is well known for its co-op program. I leave it in your good hands to tell the audience what is this co-op program, and then I'll have my follow-up questions. Just let's give us a start of this conversation.
So let me start by explaining what co-op is, or what co-op means for RIT. So co-op is a full-time paid work experience in your field of study, and this is post your second year while you are a current student of RIT. So that's the idea of co-op. It starts after second year onwards. For all the students, we want all the students to go into co-op, take at least a semester, but it depends on the program that a student is doing. For an example, engineering, it's for a year. That can be split over summers and the semesters. For computing, it is a minimum of 6 months. For business, a minimum of 3 to 4 weeks. So it depends on the program that a student is doing. But the idea is that a student should start the co-op post second year. In other words, we call it get your hands dirty, know the industry. What is industry really asking from you as a student?
And it's mandatory?
It is mandatory, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's a part of the program.
Absolutely.
The degree program which you're doing, co-op, is mandatory element.
Yes.
Okay.
And this is basically for students to know that is that something that you really want to do for the rest of your life? Or if not rest of your life, at least for the couple of years. Or where exactly you need to improve yourself on, because once a student graduates, they are into the real world.
Okay.
And as a university, we want students to be ready, or in fact, I would say 200% ready before they go to the industry.
Lovely.
That's where the co-op comes into picture.
Wonderful. Now, when we say the co-op is a platform which prepares our students to be employable as soon as they graduate, or during, when they're at the exit point, what steps do we do? So do they undergo some kind of an interview process during the co-op period, and do we prepare them for that? How does that process work? I'm just zooming in a bit now.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. So there is a reason why the co-op is post second year onwards. So first year and the second year, the student would have to take mandatory courses for them to be ready to face an interview. It can be as simple as how to write your CV, how to create your LinkedIn profile, your interviewing skills, your interpersonal skills. These are the skills that an employer is looking for. And they do understand that you are still a student. So it's not going to be that difficult. They're going to be, the employers are a bit easier when it comes to the student, because it's more like an experimental phase. That's where the co-op or internship is. But yeah, just before you go to an employer, you should be ready, because we are talking about once in a lifetime opportunity. Sometimes we have Fortune 500 companies coming in, we have Big Fives coming in. So as a student, you should be ready to grab that opportunity, step foot into the industry. And of course, once you're done with your internship, once you're done with your co-op, you're going to come back, and whatever questions, concerns you have, you're going to raise it to your faculty members, with your friends, guide them as well. So in future, your whole class, the batch is ready for the outside world experience, ready for the job market.
Amazing. So this preparation time is usually what, when they kick off when they end the first year and they're entering the second year?
So basically, there are few courses that a student would have to take in year one, the first year, and second year as well. So both the years, we have few courses that we make sure that the student is ready for these internship interviews or the co-op interviews, because as soon as the student is done with second year, they will start with the interviews and the shortlisting of the companies, and the companies will come and shortlist the candidates for the internships and so on.
Okay, so it's more of a time management which starts right after year one is over, because now right once the student finishes the first semester. Okay.
Yes.
It's further preponed. Okay. I think that's quite fair enough, because the child has just completed 12th or the 13th year, and they were completely into a school system of education,
Yes.
Now they are finding it, they're taking their time to understand how a uni works.
Exactly.
And at the same time, they are, if they are an expat children, they want to understand how this part of the world works.
Yes.
So that one semester is in due fairness, it gives them time to settle down.
Yes.
But then in semester 2 onwards, you say that they start picking up. So is it they approach to the department, or it is a part of the timetable or something?
Basically, the course is the course that I'm mentioning. And of course, once we go to our website, you'll be able to see a lot more information. It is a mandatory thing that every student would have to go through. So it is a part of the program itself.
Okay.
So there is no way around it.
No way around it. So it's not that they can skip it out.
No.
It is under strong lenses, and they are accountable to complete it up.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. And what companies are we referring? Are these Fortune 500 local companies or global companies? See, this is the question I'm bringing, Apurva, is because a lot of time parents, especially parents who are outside UAE, for them sometimes the visualization of the scope of reach of the university is unanswered, right? They think that children are only exposed to the regionally established firms, which now in today's world does not make any sense though. But with due respect to that thought process, our co-op has reached out to what category of companies here?
Okay, so there are two questions here, regional and international. So let me talk about international first.
Sure.
So if a student wants to, let's say, move to US and want to continue their co-op, yes, they are eligible for it, because again, there's nothing stopping that particular student to do so. So when we are talking about an international student studying in the US, coming from UAE or taking a transfer or going as an exchange student, so the companies that are based in the US, it can be Amazon, it can be Deloitte, it can be anything. I do not have the list of the...
There are a lot of
list
brands, of course, it's exhaustive list,
yes.
I'm sure. Yeah.
So the student have access to that. And similarly, when it comes to UAE, it's the exactly same set of companies, because it's a global university.
Correct.
So no one is stopping anyone from going any of the companies that they can think about.
Okay. So irrespective of the hat of being a Dubai child, their access to these global companies.
Absolutely, that's exactly what we want our students to dwell into. Basically,
It's an amazing input, because sometimes students feel that if I study in Dubai, probably my reach will be limited. But now that you're mentioning that even though it's a global company and they might have some office set up or some branch office in Dubai, they still are a part of the global ecosystem altogether.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. I'm glad we have got this topic. Is this also applicable for our master's students, Apurva? Because I'm sure there are a lot of master's students inquiring RIT, and especially at this recent time, I have personally encountered a lot of students working professionals precisely, talking about your cybersecurity program. Oh my God, that program is on fire, I must say.
I'm sure.
So how is this university supporting the master's students? Especially the ones who have been working in their countries and they want to, come out of their countries and be in UAE. Some of them might have a dream to go to US, I'll say, but most of them want to settle down with a good career in UAE. How has it been from your lenses for this master's students?
So when we talk about our master's program, a few of the master's program will have an option to study one semester in the US post completion of their first year. So most of our master's programs for 2 years. So if a student wants to start in UAE and move to US, we have a certain set of master's programs such as engineering management, as you mentioned, cybersecurity. So these are the programs that will allow a student to study one semester in the US. Few of the programs, they are a completely UAE based program. For the students who wants to move to UAE, settle down in the UAE, so programs like data analytics, smart cities, these are the UAE-based program, where a student will finish 2 years in the UAE itself. Okay. And of course, everything revolves. Master's student, we generally expect student to have a bit of an experience in their field of study.
Indeed.
So based on what they really want to, in fact, if data analytics program is one of the programs, that is in demand right now. And generally, we do not have seat for that particular major. Similarly goes with smart cities. Students generally don't understand what smart cities are, but once they go through the brochure, go through our website, they know exactly that we are talking about the future here.
Correct.
So, but if a student wants to settle down in the UAE, I think these are the programs we can ask student to go ahead with.
Okay, so even for them, I'm sure, because I have personally been with you in some of your counseling sessions, and I've observed you that you really deal with the inquiries to the core, that you create a visual map in the minds of the students. And I must give kudos to you for that, because that really helps students to understand the entire process. And not just that, they become far more confident in taking decisions. But talking about the master's students, those who are working professionals, how does this curriculum works for them? In the sense, do they study the daytime masters, or is it the weekend they continue looking for a job or get a job? How is that set up?
So basically, the idea when we talk about master's students specifically is that a student comes here, they already have an experience. And of course, as a university, we're going to provide them with all the support needed in terms of visa, in terms of accommodation, in terms of getting them in touch with the companies that they are looking for. But the classes are full-time in the evening. Which is, let's say, from 4:30, 5 o'clock in the evening, can go up to 8 or 9 o'clock. So I do understand that students, whether they are domestic student or international student or expat students, at some point in time when they are doing their masters, they might have a full-time job already. If not, they are looking for it. So that's the reason why the classes are based in the evenings. So if a student wants to do a full-time masters along with the job they are doing, they can manage that.
Yeah. So there's again a flexibility element.
Yes.
And that's quite encouraging, I must say, because, once you are into habit of doing a job, and you do have an aspiration which can only be achieved by a specialization, for which you have to come for studies, that element of earning, still troubles you.
Of course, we all have been there. We have that experience. So
Correct.
Yes, absolutely.
Lovely.
And that's the reason why the classes are in the evening, for the students to have that sort of support, I would say. Wonderful. Or stress-free environment where I do understand they would be at some point in time start looking for internships or jobs, not essentially post certain time,
Wonderful.
but they already have an experience. So they might start getting connected with the companies as and when they land in the UAE.
Beautiful. Wonderful. I'm very glad that there is a lot in offering from the university to not just undergrads, but even for postgrad aspirants. And I think that makes it differently standing university as first choice. Not just the quality education, the kind of elements which are supporting the whole system, be it co-op or be it a pathway to US, is an amazing part. I have a question now, which is now going to sum up the two pivots, which we mentioned out.
Sure.
We agreed that student can go out to US campus after the second year, should they wish to. They can stay there for a semester or a year.
A year for undergrad and a semester for masters.
So for undergrad, 1 year, for masters, 1 semester. Yes. And they have a choice. They can come back and resume their education in Dubai and continue and graduate from here, or they have a choice to graduate from US. Not in master's case, I believe. Masters come back.
It's the same. So a few of the master's program that we have exchange program available. Okay. It is very similar to undergrad where they can go for 1 semester and then take a transfer, or if they want to come back, they can come back. Although not all master's program have that option, because few of the programs are very UAE-based program, which are in demand by the industry.
Wonderful. So I'm trying to now establish my point here. If I am that student, that child who really want to just go and taste the waters and come back, but you're telling me that I can go after second year, and that's where even you're offering me a co-op. And me being a greedy child, I don't want to miss out the 2 opportunities. I want to be a part of the co-op services because that's mandatory.
You can do the co-op in the US.
Oh, okay.
Yes. I mean, see, again, when I mentioned that we are a global American university, So you are not missing out, or you are not choosing between the things. So the curriculum, the program, everything remains exactly the same.
Okay.
So you don't have to choose between moving to US and doing a co-op. So you can move to US, look for co-op. There is a team to guide you. We have a global team that will kind of support you, help you. And if you want to do your co-op over there, yeah, that's a possibility. Yes.
Wonderful. But that will give me an exposure to the global market in that region.
Yes.
And if I'm coming back to Dubai, where do I stand now? Because I didn't did the co-op here.
You can do your co-op again.
Okay. Tell more about this, please.
All right.
Now that's an interesting conversation again.
So as I mentioned, it depends on the program that you're doing your co-op. For an example, engineering, as I said, it's 1 year. So if you're doing your co-op, a part of your co-op in the US, you come back and you do part of your co-op in the UAE. So you have that sort of experience. Similarly, if you're doing computing program, you can do a part of it in the US. I'm talking about co-op. So part of co-op in the US and part of the co-op in Dubai. So that's absolutely fine. Same goes with all of our other majors.
I think that's where the unified degree comes into picture.
Exactly.
You all are under one umbrella, irrespective of the geographical location.
Absolutely.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yes.
That's quite a universal. And that's one of the universities I can now attest to has a high flexibility for students all across.
Yes.
Lovely.
Thank you.
I must say, Apurva, this conversation has hit the nail because we actually wanted to establish, the sentimental dream of many students looking at the different geopolitical pockets today in today's world. And sure, and things keeps changing every 6 months, every 1 year. The terms, conditions, the things keeps changing. We are not getting there. But what is getting affected is the dream of these students, right? And there are children who really are aiming to get a US degree. And what you have told us today it's a beautiful pathway with lot of gains in every step, not just the degree in hand, but there's a lot of efforts being done by the RIT as a university to holistically develop the child.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and make them
Yes.
employable.
Yes.
So do you also get industry support during this entire journey? Any master classes or industry-led sessions?
Actually, while you mention, we have something called Career Wednesdays.
Career Wednesdays, okay.
So the purpose of Career Wednesdays is we have industry speaker coming in, talking to the students on the type of job or type of internship that a particular industry may or may not have in the future. So not just the co-op or the internships, it's a wholesome process where the students are aware of what's happening in their particular field of study in terms of industry, and you can combine it in terms of growth. So that's the overall picture or in fact the overall I would say the idea of a particular major, along combining it with the degree program, combining it with the industry speakers and so on and so on. So yes, we do support throughout the 4 years or 5 years of studies on how a student can get probably their dream job or dream company. So yeah, it's a whole process.
So it's a prime need of the hour because these students cannot study just in isolation, and once they are going for co-op and they realize, oh my God, things are slightly variant than my classroom study, or not just limited to my labs which I was doing. The world works differently now.
Absolutely.
Because these industry leaders,
Yes.
they bring the insight from what's happening on that side of the world.
Yes.
And that's where we align
Yes.
the students' thought process.
Yes.
Rather than going into some la la land and then thinking, where am I heading to?
Yeah.
Amazing, wonderful. That sums up my my entire objective of having this episode. But before we conclude the conversation, we are all geared up and set up for the next intake now. What is that one piece of advice you want to give to high school students, especially those who are listening to you? And then those master's aspirants who are already started thinking about their dream of US through Rochester, Dubai. What is that advice you want to give them?
So I would say for undergrad students, you're already done with your exams. If not, do not wait for the last minute applications. Start early because our seats will get full, which I hate to say that if the seats are full, we cannot really do anything about it because of the capacity. So even if you have just started your grade 12 or you have completed your grade 12, you already have your results in your hand, start with your application. Do not miss out on the spring intake. And for the master students, please make sure that all your documents are in place. Specifically, we do look at the personal statement, your CV, your letter of recommendation. So just make sure that's ready because this will really help you get some sort of scholarships in the program.
Amazing. And that's a very strong message you have given to our audience because it's a first come, first served basis. So if their applications are in the process, they have a high chances of getting selected and they can block their seat.
Along with getting higher scholarships.
Along with the scholarships. Okay, that's an asterisk. And I should say, if at all there was any emoji, I should have done that. Scholarships are the key player. And the sooner you apply, the discount pot has a lot to offer. Absolutely. Rather than missing out onto the deadlines. Great. On this note, viewers, we have come to the end of this particular episode. And I am sure that if your US dream, if you have your study dream of a US degree is there with you, then you have to start now. You have to start working in the right direction and be the early catcher of your pathway. And thank you so much, Apurva, once again for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting.
Very informative session.
Thank you.
And all the best for your next intakes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.